Hi, today I'm going to be talking about strategies for gifted students. To begin with, it's important to know what exactly is a gifted student. Well, it's hard to know exactly because that term is a very broad term. What it can mean, though, is a student who has the high capability of achievement, whether it be in academics, artistic endeavors, or leadership roles. But in all those different aspects, they're going to have common traits, which I've listed here. Gifted students are going to learn material much faster than other peers at their age. They're going to also learn materials at an earlier age. What they learn, they're going to remember forever with no need to review. The concepts that they learn are going to be more complex than what their other peers are going to be learning. They're also going to have a much larger passion than peers for particular subjects. What this means is that they're also going to spend their free time or additional class time looking into subjects that they themselves find interesting. This can lead to some disruption and behavioral problems if it's not addressed promptly. Their learning process can also be different than their peers, but it can be effective for them. What this means is maybe a student will not be looking at the teacher when they're giving a lecture, or may not seem like they're paying attention, or maybe doing a few things at once, but for them, that is an effective way to learn. Lastly, they're all unique, and I'll get into that in the next slide. Now, when I say unique, I say that because you need to watch out for stereotypes. They can be harmful and dismissive by giving these gifted students, mixed messages on what it means to be gifted. They can be confused and think that being gifted means that they're going to be great at everything, that maybe they have a nerdy personality, or that they're not going to be good at sports, or that they may be teased a lot. So it's important to talk with them early and openly about what it is to be gifted. This will help guide their perception towards a healthy and confident path, so that they know that being gifted means that they're just like other students. They just have a higher development in particular areas. It's also important to know that every student is unique. Not every gifted student is going to be the same. So that's why you need to talk to them and not give them, or else they're going to have that mixed message of thinking that they're just one way. They're as different from each other as other general education students. Also, extreme intelligences do not mean extreme emotions. You need to nurture the student and encourage their curiosity. What that means is just because they have extreme intelligences doesn't mean that they're going to be extreme in other ways. It can happen, but not always. So you need to take it by a case-by-case basis. So what kind of problems and concerns do gifted students encounter? First of all, like I mentioned before, if you don't talk to them about what it means to be gifted, they're not going to know what it's going to mean. And they're going to be confused and not have a great sense of self, which can cause behavioral problems later on. A very big problem is being frustrated with school and teachers for being too easy. There's a typo there, so I'll have to change that. But that's actually a big indicator of a gifted student is disruption in class and goofing off because they've been finishing their work early or they don't find it interesting at all. So it's very important to address that as well. They also have an expectation from parents, teachers, and also themselves to be perfect, which is a really difficult part of being gifted if it's not addressed or they're not talked to about what it means to be gifted, because they feel like they need to be perfect all the time, which can be very difficult for them. Another very, very important aspect is them questioning, does anyone else understand me? They can feel like they're alone, whether it be from their teachers, their parents, but most importantly, their peers, if they feel like they can't connect with other students their age. So you need to address that, which I'll get to in the next slide. They can be teased if being gifted is the only part of their identity, so it's important to be well-rounded. And also, intelligence and giftedness in one area does not translate to another. So parents and teachers need to know that being gifted doesn't mean that they're gifted in all areas, so don't expect them to be. So how can we help? Well, to start with, for literacy and for reading ahead of other students, literacy groups and book discussions with family who know books, who are older and understand what they're reading, and also peers outside of school that may be gifted as well. To aid in writing, younger students who don't have the physical capability to write as well as their older counterparts can dictate to adults. There's writing workshops that can develop writing skills and help aid in sharing personal writing if they still feel shy about that kind of stuff. Pre-testing to see what students already know so that they're not bored in class. Mathematics can be more interesting with games and puzzles. Also, math groups, clubs, and leagues, things that will get them into contact with other students their age or that have the same intellectual development that they have. Also, encouraging and nurturing friendships is very, very important. These students are more than just their intellect. They need to also develop their social skills. Now I'm going to be talking about asynchronous development. This is also another important aspect of a gifted student. Being gifted in one area doesn't mean gifted in all areas. There's three main areas. One is physical development, emotional development, and the intellectual development. With a gifted student, their intellectual development is going to be way ahead of the other two areas. So you need to remember that when you're dealing with with these students, there's other aspects of their age that come along with that. So this can be confusing for both teachers and parents because their growth is out of sync, as the name implies. So you have to remember their age. You have to understand that their development is going to be out of sync. So even though their intellect may be much higher, you may be talking to them about something advanced, they're still whatever age they're at, and they may get frustrated. So you need to always take a step back and remember this is a 5-year-old, this is a 10-year-old, and always provide that additional emotional support so that they know that somebody's looking out for them. Parental support is very important. So as a teacher, you should always try to encourage parental support. Also, socialization, as I mentioned earlier, is very, very important, and it'll help them cope and also develop in the other areas emotionally and well, their intellectual development is already done, then this will take care of their emotional development. So to end it, remember that although they have advantages in some areas, they still require the involvement of parents and teachers to thrive and succeed. They can't do it on their own. And if it's not addressed, this can cause behavioral problems in the future. They look up to us, and so it's important to give them the support they need. All right, thank you very much.